evening, Cherries fans, and welcome to this special show. We couldn't just leave it at the one show, could we, really? It is that big a game that we had to cover it in all aspects. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I will have some special guests, but before I welcome them in, here's a bit about our sponsors, Dental on the Banks. To find out what they can do for you, visit dentalonthebanks.co.uk. Now, please do remember to hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell button below to be alerted to any new videos we do here at Up the Cherries in all departments. Because of the magnitude of this game, it is a pleasure to welcome on my special guests. It is a pleasure to welcome onto the show this evening for this special preview of this huge game. Firstly, Gemma Pollard. How are you doing, Gemma?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. And hopefully we're going to get the right result tomorrow.
Well, you'd hope so, but would be very boring for us to get the right result, wouldn't it? So
yeah. Well, fingers crossed. I've also got in another special guest, Jack Goodwin. How you doing, Jack?
I'm all right. How are you?
Nervous. You're the only one that isn't nervous ahead of this game. So
I'm chilled. I'm relaxed. I'm on the beach.
Yeah, it'll be great for a neutral, I guess, this game, won't it? But yeah, it's edgy. I've got to say, I'm nervous, very, very nervous ahead of this game that we could throw away our second spot that we've stayed in the top two pretty much all season, haven't we?
Well, it's a cup final, isn't it?
It is.
Definitely.
It doesn't get much bigger than this game. It's in your hands. You can get the draw. So it's going to be an interesting encounter. It's going to be a nail biter.
Definitely. And I guess we've got to have a Forest fan in and a good friend of the channel. Welcome, Mr. Dorr.
Hello. We're coming for you lot.
We've heard.
You're hoping that this cup final goes the other way and you drag it to the final day in second position, don't you?
100%. Like I said, it's the biggest game in 23 years for us, and this game's so important for Forest. And I'm nervous, I'm excited, but it's been too long now. And like I said, we win this, we win the next game, we're up. So this game is it's a cup final, and I'm excited.
And I got to be honest, looking at your last fixture as well, Mr. Dorr, Hull, you should beat them, shouldn't you?
Listen to me, right? I'm not thinking about Hull. Our next game is Bournemouth. That's all matters, because if we lose to you, Hull's game doesn't mean nothing. We're in the playoffs. So all it matters, we focus on Bournemouth and we get revenge after what can I say? After you lot called it off after a little bit of wind. So yeah, we're ready. We're ready for you lot.
Have you not seen my videos of what it was like down in Sandbanks? There was water on the road, Mr. Daw.
Oh, it was little wind. You lot are petty. I went there. I was,
Southerners. Soft Southerners.
exactly. I went there and there was a little bit of wind, a few trees on the floor, but that doesn't hurt no one, does it? Petty. So now you're not going to regret it now. You're not going to regret it, but
Well,
it is what it is. The game's tomorrow, and I'm nervous. I'm excited, but it isn't awful. I'm a football fan, and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, wow. Same here in small doses. You know, as long as we get the right result, you know, hopefully we won't come out of this game with any regrets. But before we start, thanks to Benjamin Bloom at the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. He gave me some stats, and they're quite interesting. So, in our first 17 games, we got 40 points, which is 2.3 points per game, which phenomenal return, really, and promotion form. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. That's title winning form. But since then, we've got 1.55 points per game. Now that's over a 27 game period, which is the form of an 8th place team. Now, Forest, Mr. Daw, you started terribly, and I remember coming on your channel. And you were scratching your head, wondering what the hell to do. You thought you was going down with Derby, and you got 0.14 points per game from seven games. As you said, 1 point. But since then, from round 8, and I wonder what happened in mid-September. Maybe you can fill us in on that, Mr. Daw.
When you said I wanted to jump on the trend after what happened in the first 7 games. It was awful, shocking, and everything. And I said you came on my channel, and I was depressed football fan, as you want to call it. And nothing was happening. We got 1 point, and that was against Derby, our rivals, and we should have lost that game. And when we played you lot, we wasn't that bad. And but you had Brooks, class player, took the nick out of us, and I think it was Billing. Did he get the second goal for you lot?
I believe so. Yeah, believe so.
But the first 7 games were just diabolical, and Houghton had to go, and the man himself, as everyone knows, Steve Cooper, come in.
yeah.
And he has changed everything. And yeah.
Well, let's talk about the stats, actually. Since round 8, you've got 2.11 points per game. And you've done that over a 37 game period, which is 80% of the season. If you look and you take out from game 7 before that, if you take out all the results from that, you'd be top of the league. So it was such a turnaround. But this is one game. Mr. Daw. And I've got to say, you know, Gemma, it's been nerve-wracking, hasn't it, the past couple of weeks, especially against Swansea.
Yeah.
I reverted to Twitter quite a bit.
Didn't we all?
It was awful.
I mean, that was the peak of sort of Bournemouth football, isn't it? Just, you know, 3 down and then just got to do it the hard way, haven't we, all the time, unfortunately. And I doubt tomorrow, unfortunately, will be any different. It's going to be the hard way. I hope it isn't, but I can't see how we won't do it the hard way. We made it quite easy Saturday, though, didn't we? So that does fill me with a bit more hope. But I don't know, I've just been watching us too long to know that it's the hard way or no way for us, isn't it? It's just stressful.
Oh, crikey, it is, yeah. And to be fair, that that game on Saturday, we were all over Blackburn, but I think that we excelled when Jaden Anthony come off and Shriki Dembele come on, and he really put on some attacking impetus. Which I think, which way, if you were Scott Parker, Gemma, which way would you go? Would you go all out for this, or would you go a little bit more defensive, which hasn't really worked? When you look at the games that we've done that, we've had Reading, we've had Peterborough, Derby, when we got beat 3-2. We've tried to hold on to leads, and that doesn't work. So do we go for Forest?
I think we've got to, haven't we? Like you guys have been saying, it's a cup final, basically. It's all or nothing. So we've got to go out from the off. And that's why I think Dembele, you mentioned Dembele, he's one of those impact players that you bring on late, or, you know, the dynamics of the game, and he changes the game and completely changes it. But we need to be starting with that more than anything now, rather than letting Forest come off, you know, straight away attacking us, and then we're suddenly on the back burner and having to chase that. We just need to go straight for it, don't we? I think personally, and we showed that we can do that on Saturday, where we went straight in for Blackburn, attacking. We just need to do that more often, and I don't know why we haven't done that all season, because we have, for the majority of it, I think at least, been a bit more negative with our play, not as attacking as we know we can do. So we've just got to go for it tomorrow, haven't we? I think anyway. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think we've got to. And the thing is the playing at the back and the slow tempo, it just doesn't work.
No.
We play on the front foot like we did against Huddersfield and Coventry as well, and we win games. That's what we did at the start of the season as well. And, you know, it's just been a little bit disappointing, some of the results. The West Brom game was terrible. So, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see the right Bournemouth. Jack, you're probably looking forward to this, aren't you? You're probably the only one that's genuinely looking forward to this game.
I am. I mean, usually, you know, a midweek at this sort of time of the year, I'll be watching Champions League football, but this is just the pinnacle of Sky Sports football, isn't it? Really, because like you say, it's a cup final without it intending to be a cup final. And as I say, obviously the ball's in your court. Really, you can draw the game, and you'd probably stumble over the line then. So I don't know whether, I know Gemma touched on it, saying that you've got to go for it, you've got to attack it. I don't know whether when you came to our place to Deepdale. When we beat you.
You always beat us, Jack.
Yeah. The first half, I found very frustrating, not even from a North End point of view, from watching on from Bournemouth, seeing the quality you had. But in that first half, we couldn't get the ball off you because you just kept it ticking, sort of thing. And that's what Scott Parker's good at. He's a pragmatic manager that, you know, his side can keep hold of the ball. It's a similar philosophy that Brendan Rodgers had at Swansea. You know, keep all the ball in is the best form of defence, because the opposition can't get it off you. And I think, you know, you're going to have the majority of the ball tomorrow. Nottingham Forest aren't renowned for having the ball, so if you limit the amount of times they have the ball, you'll limit how much they're going to hurt you. Because, you know, they have players like Brennan Johnson and Kiernan Davis and Zinkenarko, players that can run at you. So if you just keep hold of it, keep it, you know, maybe, you know, get a goal from a set piece, just keep it nice and tight. I don't think it'll be like a box office sort of 4-4 sort of match, you know, end to end. It's going to be a tactical, a real tactical game. And, well, Scott Parker in the big games he's had so far in his career, he's proven all right. I mean, he tactically got it perfect in that game when Fulham won the playoff final. So I think if I had to choose one manager to be managing this game, and just on this one game, it'd be Scott Parker.
Jack, you been serious?
Well, no, don't get me wrong.
Are you being serious, Jack?
I think he's a good manager, But his track record in terms of his big games, they got played off the park last year, Swansea against Brentford. Didn't make the final in their other big game the year before. I mean, he's done a great job at Forest. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a top manager, Mr. Dole. But I think if I was choosing one manager to be a part of this match right now for tomorrow, I'd rather have Scott Parker in charge because he's a very tactical, efficient manager that can get teams over the line. No,
Jack, what are you doing? Jack, I know you've been. I'm drinking my orange. You've been drinking a bit of JD.
I was last night. Actually. I was on the JD last night.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I've got to disagree. Listen, I'm not trying to disrespect Scott Parker at all, but you're talking about tactically. Steve Cooper's better than Scott Parker. I'm not saying that because I'm a Forest fan, but
I think they're both good managers. But I think
Cooper's better.
I think Cooper's doing a better job at Forest than Parker's doing at Bournemouth. I've been very frustrated by how Parker's managing Bournemouth this year. But if he gets a promotion, which I think he will, then he's had 2 full seasons at Championship level and got 2 promotions. And you can say, he's got Fulham side, he's got Bournemouth side. We can say that to Ismail at West Brom this season. You can say that to Jason Tindall last year. He's able to get teams over the line by dominating the ball, and it might not be the prettiest football. It might put you to sleep at times because it's not the most interesting type of football to watch. But I think Scott Parker's a good manager, and I'm backing Bournemouth tomorrow, to be honest.
Oh, you're being a Bournemouth. See what I mean? This is bullying. I got and they want Bournemouth to win.
You can see why I got Jack on now.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a draw, but that's basically a victory for Bournemouth, really.
To be honest, with regards to Steve Cooper, I had Stefan Rodri, who you might remember is Dave's coaches from Gavin and Stacey on the show.
Yeah.
And he actually said that Russell Martin, even though Steve Cooper got Swansea to that playoff final, Russell Martin is plays a lot more attractive football, is a better team to watch, and Steve Cooper's side frustrated the Swansea fans at times. Do you agree with that, Mr. Dull?
No.
No?
Swansea fans are just bitter. Just bitter.
I had a similar argument with a Swansea fan last year. I got a couple, I think, on Twitter. Not an argument, a discussion. And they were saying how they wanted Cooper out. I think they were 4th or 5th in the league at the time. But they were saying his football's very dull and all that. But at the end of the day, Russell Martin just got beat 5-1 off Steve Cooper. I'm pretty sure the football didn't look very pretty.
How can the argument is right? Swansea fans saying he's boring, he's dull. Got to win the playoffs back to back, and how can you complain about playing dull football? And then when we appointed him as Forest manager, Swansea fans were saying on social media, "Oh, he's boring, he's dull, blah de blah." And now look at him. Swansea wish they had him now. So I don't know. What Swansea fans, Jack, I think they're drinking what you're drinking, and
I think it's because he's not exactly an attractive manager.
Why? He's a young manager. He's a young manager.
He isn't exactly exciting in his interviews. He doesn't give the fist bumps and all that. So people don't endear to that. The types of Ryan Lowe and Russell Martin. People are like,
I mean, I did. To be fair, I did see
manager.
I did see the videos of Cooper at who was it you guys played last, where he was giving it the fist bumps and knocked the steward over.
Jack, every game that we win, he gives a fist bump.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Jack?
I've got to give
Have you not watched it?
yeah.
Jack, I know you've not been watching Forest, mate, but he's been every game. He gives us the fist bump.
Well, yeah. Which manager doesn't give the fist bump? But it's more than that.
It's better. We got the music. We got the dance, little fist bump to all the grands. Come on, man.
Well,
Steve Cooper.
listen, I'm a fan of Steve Cooper. I don't want this to come across as like I don't like Steve Cooper.
You're coming across that he's not a exciting manager.
That's
don't you agree, Craig? Don't you, Craig and Demo? Don't you agree?
Yeah,
I could say
I'd agree because I can see what he's done with you guys. It's obviously, I wouldn't say it's not exciting football, but what sort of changed when he's gone from Swansea to you that's made it so completely different? That's what I don't get. Not that it matters to you, but
better players.
Mm.
Better players. Like no disrespect to Swansea, right? Like I said, Swansea has good players, but like you've got to understand, like last 23 years, all the managers that we've had, like you can mention Paul Hart, Billy Davis, who Jack will know, who Billy Davis was. He got pressed into the playoffs twice. We were almost with Samuel Limucci, that everyone knows what happened with that situation. And with Steve Cooper, he's come in, and we're a big club. And we've got the history to back it up with. I know we can say, we shouldn't talk about history, but that's what we are. We're not Forest. We are allowed to talk about history. Then, and the pressure that he was on to come to our club, it's massive. And to say that I'm not trying to disrespect your comment, Jack, because that everyone has an opinion, and it's fine. Don't worry about it. But we were bottom of the league when it came to the club. Bottom. Derby above us. And these guys come to the club. He's turned it around. I don't know.
He has done a very good job. I've got to say, he's done an outstanding job.
And this is what I don't understand with the saying Scott Parker. Like I said, but I don't know if Bournemouth fans have seen Forest this season, but Scott Parker, he got Fulham promoted. I think it was 2 years ago. And then, like, you can't give him his dues. That is Fulham a second place. So you can't say he's not done a great job, because he has. But you say, as I think you mentioned, Craig, he had 40 points. And now, how many points did Forest have? we were below.
Well, exactly. In that first.
Yeah, and you talk about how many points. I don't know how many points Forest won now. Like, it's just amazing. It's been an amazing journey, and would you ever think of me being on the channel thinking about we could get a second spot? No,
I couldn't at the time. To be honest, mate, when we did the raw reaction video, it was all doom and gloom. It was very much a case of, it was only the second game in, but we could already see, that we were a decent side. We had quite a lot of youngsters. We had quite a lot of injuries. But I tell you what, let's move on to a little bit of Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Cookie. Cookie was and still is, and he will get a great reception, a legend. He's a club legend.
Yeah.
And would you agree with me, Gemma, after that game against Fulham, when he just dived in front of that ball, he probably knew at that point that his Bournemouth days were up. And he'd been here so long, he'd taken this club from League One into the Premier League. He got to be honest, he was signed by Lee Bradbury, didn't get any games time at all, really, under Groves. And then Eddie Howe gave him that chance, and he repaid him. And he was a fantastic player for us, and a huge loss. What do you make of him, Mr. Dorr?
Let me start, because when we brought Cook from Bournemouth, I was surprised. I was really surprised we brought him because, as you said, he's a legend for your club. And when Johnny Window comes up and we brought him, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But as a Forest fan, we needed that kind of thing because, like I said, no disrespect to Figueiredo. Sometimes you have some poor games, but we needed a leader in that back three alongside McKenna and Worrell. And to bring Cook in, and since he's come to the club, he's been outstanding. Because, like I said, we've got young players like Joe Worrell, Ryan Yates, Brennan Johnson, Spence as well. You can tell he's the biggest leader in the changing room. So, as a Forest fan, I'm shocked that you let him go, because me personally, and as we know, I wasn't thinking like, oh, we'll make the playoffs. And now it's come to this. I spoke to a lot of quite Bournemouth fans. I'm thinking, so he should not happen. He should have stayed to the end of the season. He might not have played for you lot, but he's a person that in the changing rooms, training ground, or whatever.
Yeah,
he's a major part. And
leader.
He's a big leader. And Forest fans noticed that when I've watched him home and away, you can tell this and that over. Like he's been a massive impact at Forest. Massive, and this is why I don't understand Scott Parker. Why would you let a legend go to a team?
And I think
now
the thing is with that, like a lot of our fans didn't want him to go. A lot of them did, just because the way we were progressing as a team and bringing in Cahill, for example, he's another big leader. But when you've got someone like Cookie, where he knows a club in and out, doesn't he? I didn't particularly like the fact that we got rid of him, but where would he have fit into the team now? I mean, Kelly, again, is he a leader? I don't really think so. He's not quite on Cook's level at the moment. Hopefully he will be. But it's more of a case of where Cook fitted into the team, because you bring in Cahill. Cahill was really meant to be sort of his replacement, I think.
Yeah.
On a leadership level, but I think we should have kept him personally, to be honest.
We should have, because sorry, Craig. If you stayed with Bournemouth, maybe you could have won the league. I know Fulham are gone with it, but if Cook was there, I think you would have stayed. You would have got promoted by now.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I know. He wasn't playing as much. You brought Cahill in. I think you brought another player in, another centre back in, Phillips as well, and and you brought, I don't know, 6 or 7 other players on the last day. But yeah, I think Cook come to Forest. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, because, like I said, we need that leader, and that's what Forest lacks. And props to Cook. He's been fantastic for us so far.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, Gemma, that we have got better defensively since Cook's left? Or personally, I don't think I would have picked him certainly over Nat Phillips. Nat Phillips has had some decent games, but especially, at times has looked a little bit suspectable. Cahill, of course, got injured. I believe it was against Millwall, wasn't it?
I think so. It was a while ago now, wasn't it? It seems like a while ago.
And he didn't really ever regain his place properly, because Cookie came in.
That's the thing. Like, I would probably put Cook ahead of Phillips, to be honest. And I like Phillips. I think he's got the last couple of games, he's sort of solidified his place a lot more. But I'd put Cook at the back with Kelly personally. I don't see how that could have gone wrong. And then, like you say, I mean, Cahill probably, when you look back in hindsight, would have been there instead of Cook, but that's why he was brought in. But like, he's been injured, so when you look at it now, that's personally what I would have done, knowing what we know now, and the fact that he'd get injured. Cahill, that's what I would have done. And Phillips, is he any better than Cook? I don't think so. Not any better anyway, but probably on the same level. Cook's got that more experience, but apart from that, there's not much in it, I don't think, between the two of them.
When I was watching Benjamin Bloom earlier on, this bit for you, Jack, he turned round and said that Forest are a better defensive unit than Bournemouth are. Would you agree with that?
Jack, be careful what you say, Jack. Be careful what you say.
Well, I guess, especially under Cooper, they probably have been, to be honest. I think they've conceded less in the league now already than Bournemouth have. Cooper, even at Swansea, did a very good job at solidifying the defence, having a team that's tough to beat, and that's exactly what Forest are, really. So I probably agree with that. At times, I mean, we found it quite easy. I know I said in the first half at Deepdale it was quite difficult to get the ball off you, but especially in the second half, we had quite a few chances. Mark Travers made quite a few decent saves. I actually think Mark Travers is one of the better keepers in the league. I think you've probably got to thank him for a lot of the saves that he's made this season. So, I mean, it's difficult for me to judge because I don't watch, every team or either of your teams 90 minutes of every game. But, yeah, I'd probably side with the fact that Cooper's Forest are probably not only better than Bournemouth, but possibly maybe the best defensive unit in the league. The only other ones you can look at are maybe Huddersfield, who are usually very good at stopping out the opposition, but again they rely a lot on Lee Nichols. So yeah, no, I'd probably agree with Benjamin Bloom there.
I like you, Jack. Now, Jack, I like you now.
But he did also say that we are the best attacking form in the league and team in the league, and that is really down to the 29 goal a season striker. Dominic Solanke. There was a time when we said that we didn't think he was going to score 20 goals in the season, but he's 29. Really excelled on 29. What do you make of it, Gemma? I think he's been fantastic this season.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can argue with that, really, can you? Well, seasons ago we were getting 20 million down the drain. We thought it was, didn't we? Thought it was another Jordan Ibe, to say the least. And then, he comes out and does that. He turns up when you need him. He's clinical. I mean, I can't remember the last time we had someone that was a penalty taker that would convert as much as he has, really. Every time he steps up to take a penalty now, I'm convinced he'll score, which hasn't been a sort of approach that I've had to any of our penalty takers of the past. I've always just thought, we're going to mess that up, aren't we? But and I'm not one that's always been convinced about sort of playing the one up front. I've always liked the two up front. But you can't argue with how we've been doing attacking, can you? I mean, second top goal scorer in the league, and then you've got Mitrovic, which. Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to beat him, wouldn't it? So, you can't.
He couldn't go past Forest last week. Yeah,
that's true. And I saw some of that. And, yeah, exactly.
It's Solanke's turn now. Solanke where it's goal passes tomorrow.
So, filling me with even more hope now. Not.
It'll be quite an interesting matchup, though, because. Of course, Solanke knows Cook and Cook knows Solanke, and therefore it could work for or against us because Solanke might know ways to exploit Cook, but then again, Cook might know ways to stop Solanke. Is it time maybe to go two up front, Gemma, for this game and bring in Kiefer Moore, who was fantastic against Swansea in that second half?
Yeah, that's the thing as well. I didn't even think about bringing Kiefer Moore into the equation, to sort of start a game off. I'd like to do that, but at this point of the season, is it a risk when we've not done it before, really? Again, Moore's one of those players you bring on dying embers of the game, like we did with Swansea, and he's just a game-changing player. So I don't know if I'd risk that personally. I think I'd just go with what we know, start Solanke. And then, if we go 3 down, bring Kiefer Moore on, I guess. That's one of the riskier things I'd be thinking of right now in terms of not tomorrow, I don't think, but who knows? Scott Parker, he might know. So we'll soon see.
I'd completely agree, to be honest. I think it'd be bizarre to change what you know. I mean, I know there's been a lot of stuff said about how you've been in the second half of the season compared to the first part of the season, but since you made these signings, you've only lost 2 in the league, two games in the league. I think was it us and West Brom. I think you've lost 2. And, a lot of those are coming from draws, but tomorrow a draw suits you really. Your draw specialist. You've lost less games than Fulham have lost this season. They've lost 9. You've lost 8. So on that hand, you're still probably the hardest team to beat in the league. So, don't change your tack. Keep going how you've been going. And, a 0-0, an ugly 0-0 suits you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Solanke does offer so much. And this was another debate that I was having with somebody on Twitter and also spoke to Peter Rutzler about it. So of course, Callum Wilson in our 2014-15 season was prolific. But he did have a strike partner, be that Kermorgant, be that Brett Pittman. If you put Solanke in that team instead of Wilson in that 2014-15 season, and if you put Wilson in this team, who would actually score more?
I'd still go Wilson. I really would. I just think, but it's easy to look back on that season, isn't it, and kind of see it through rose-tinted glasses because it was such a good season, and this season, whatever season follows, will probably never compare. But I think on the whole, Wilson just showed to be someone who, no matter who you put him with, he would still get the goals. And I think the past couple of seasons, well, until now really, Solanke, again, where we've all always sort of questioned how he fits in, if he will become a 20 goal a season striker, let alone 29, how he's going to get to that point. There's always been questions, but there's never been questions with Wilson, I don't think, has there? I mean, towards the end of when he was with us, when it kind of looked like, he was probably going to leave, we were probably going to go down, then, there was a couple of questions, but I think, Wilson probably would come out the better of the two of them, really, to be honest. But, that's no sort of disrespect to Dom, because, he can still smash it, and I think he can still smash it in the Premier League as well. Now he's got that momentum behind him. So, yeah.
Most definitely. And of course, we are scoring goals from all over the pitch. And Phil Billing in the centre has been outstanding. How are the Forest midfield going to cope with Billing, Lerma, Cook, that sort of combination? How do you reckon?
Easy. We've got Ryan Yates, James Garner, and Diganel. Easy. Not worried. Sam Billing, the reason I mention him, because he always scores past Forest. All the time. He scored when I think he was out. It was Huddersfield. I think he was out. And yes, that's the only player I think I'm worried about in the midfield. Am I worried about the rest? No. Not worried at all. Like Cook. Not worried. But we've got a good side. We've got good midfield. If I'm more worried, if I think about like a Blinken, he's a great player. But we've got a good team in midfield. So Ryan Yates, if Ryan Games is on his game, like he has been since Steve Cooper's come in, I'm not worried. I think that the midfield battle is going to be it's going to be important. Like we mentioned, your attack, our attack, your defense, our defense. But the midfield battle is going to be so important for both clubs. And if we play the way we've been playing, like we beat Fulham last week, we battered Swansea. Bournemouth, like I said, the battle is going to be in midfield. But like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. Like I said, it's a cup final, and I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I was worried before the Swansea, before the Fulham game. But like I said, we've done them, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. The midfield battle is going to be most important for this match.
I do think, like where you're saying about how you're excited, and I've seen a lot of people, especially Forest fans, say today, we're not worried, and I do actually get it looking at it, because we mentioned earlier about the dropping of points where you were at the start of the season. At the end of the day, it's us that should be worried, because we're the ones that were.
Because look, if you look at it,
and I am worried.
If you look at it, because like I said, let's give Bournemouth their dues, right? They're playing good football. You mentioned Solanke, 29 goals this season, and but you mentioned like Steve Cook. Steve Cook will know him. He'll use his experience to like wind him up for whatever he's going to do. But yeah, we've got nothing to lose. Like I said, if Bournemouth win, we can just say,
oh well, we tried.
No, not even that. We could say, look where we started from.
Yeah.
Look where we started from. We're bottom of the league, and to think, like I said, like I mentioned, I keep repeating it. To think about just what we're talking about now. we've been battling for second spot. It doesn't mean nothing. Like it's just that's achievement itself. So it's just more exciting than anything.
Personally, I think we've got the better of the midfields. I think Cook, when Cook, when he's on his game, is outstanding. Against Bristol City recently, where we won 3-2. To be honest, that second goal, I'm sure you'll agree with me, Gemma, was ridiculous. To be honest, that second goal we conceded.
Yeah, but it just him in general, though, the past this half the season, or the latter half at least, there was at one point where I think a lot of us are thinking, oh, is he ever going to get back to being that Cook that, the first season when we had him, especially after the injuries. But now he's the old Cook, but with a bit more sort of guts about him, maybe. And yeah, he looks like nothing can stop him lately, which is good. And I hope he can take into whatever happens next season, wherever we are. I hope he can just take it there, because yeah, he's kind of unplayable at the moment, really. Especially the Fulham game was one of the games that stood out to me, how he played.
Yeah.
Just constantly here, there, everywhere, wasn't he? So, but yeah, I'm just glad he's got back to being how he was when he was really good. So yeah, that's positive.
And you got Lerma as well. Lerma's been outstanding. Yes, I think he comes in for a bit of a bad rap sometimes from referees.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't mention referees. Who's refereeing tomorrow? Who's refereeing tomorrow?
I don't believe it is Keith Stroud. Somebody did mention it, because Keith Stroud was actually removed. I will find out.
Wasn't Stroud meant to be the Blackburn game?
Yeah, but he got removed.
Yeah, he got removed.
I want Keith Stroud because I like him. The last 5 games that we've had with him, we've won. So if Keith Stroud is referee tomorrow, I'll take him. So I'm not bothered. But I know it's not. Keith Stroud.
Throwing it to you, Jack. Who do you reckon's got the better midfield? Do you reckon Yates and Co, or do you think Billing, Cook, Lerma?
I think probably Bournemouth have got the better unit, but Forest have got the best player in the midfield, James Garner. I think James Garner's better than all of Bournemouth's players. I'm a real big fan of him. I think he's got better. He's just got better and better and better. I watched the extended highlights of the game against Swansea, and I thought he just pulled the strings in that game. He was brilliant. I mean, whether he's with Forest or not, you say this about quite a lot of Forest players as well. He's going to be in the Premier League next year. His next loan, if United don't fancy keeping him, is going to be in the Premier League to a Southampton or a Brighton. Yep. But fingers crossed for Forest fans. He'll be with Forest next year in the Premier League, getting another loan back. But yeah, I'd probably say, well, Bournemouth, you've just got a ridiculous wealth of talent. Really, it's stupid when you think about all the players, the top quality stars you have in the side, and arguably it's been the ones that are less talked about. The likes of Jadon Anthony and Mark Travers, who have been your probably unsung heroes this year.
Yeah.
If anything, rather than the ones that are on the big wages. But as you say, the midfield that you have, you've just got a luxury of talents. But if I was making a combined 11, I'd chuck James Garner in there anyway, because I think he's brilliant.
Talking about good players as well, let's talk about Brennan Johnson. Of course, the son of David Johnson, and he has been outstanding. To be fair, Mr. Dorr, do you think, regardless of if you go up or not, do you think you can actually keep him? Because surely the likes of Liverpool, Man City, Man United, I've heard rumours they're sniffing around, aren't they?
The thing with Brennan, and he's been fantastic for us. Christensen said to him that he's not good enough for Championship, the first 6 games. But it's just ridiculous. Steve Cooper's come in, and the young boy has just been. He's been fantastic for us, and everyone's after him. And like I said, 15 goals, 16 goals, whatever it is, the season, 11 assists, and there's so much pressure because it's his first season in the Championship. He had a little one or two games under Lamucci, but he wasn't ready. And like I said, he had a spell with Lincoln, and he did fantastic there. And like I said, he's proved the point to everyone, especially Chris Hughton, because he's a boy that's going to go far. And he's got a good family around him. Like I said, you mentioned David Johnson, good friend of mine. And he's got a good family around him. So he's the next big thing in English football.
Is he? Is he? Sorry to interrupt. Is he from Fitwood from your youth, or did you buy him elsewhere?
No, because David Johnson, like I said, he used to play for Forest.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He played in the academy for us, and I remember watching him in the 23 match, and I didn't know it was David's son, and since then he's been fantastic. And like I said, that spell with Lincoln, he was fantastic for them. And like I said, there's so much pressure because when it comes to especially academy players at Forest, like we can mention Matty Cash, he was fantastic for us. And Brennan Johnson, like I said, he's everyone's after him. And like I said, if we get promoted, he's gone, and that's it. He wants to stay. He wants to stay at Forest, but I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. And I know we've rejected a 20 million bid for Brentford, but the boy wants to stay at Forest. So can I see him being a top six? Maybe he can. And I don't think it'd be the right development to go to a top 16. I think if we did go, maybe he can go to some teams like West Ham, Crystal Palace. They're teams that they've got a young side, championship players as well that have come to their clubs as well. So yeah, Brennan Johnson, he's got a massive future with him as well. He's a Welsh international as well. And yeah, he's going to go far, but whether it's top six sides, we never know. So hopefully we get promoted. He signs a contract for Forest, and see from there.
To be honest, he's the one man that I would pick out of your squad tomorrow. If I could pick one player from your team and put him in the Bournemouth squad, Brennan Johnson, without a shadow of a doubt.
Just Brennan Johnson?
I would say Brennan Johnson would be the top one. I reckon Joe Garner, I agree with Jack, is a quality player, and Ryan Yates. But then again, I don't think that. I think Brennan Johnson would bring more to our side than those two would do, because you've got the Billin, Lerma, and Cook.
Yeah. Competition. Yeah.
I don't know, but
it's tough.
If Johnson was a Bournemouth player playing alongside Solanke, then like the thing with Ben Johnson, he's fast. He's fast, and he's a quality player. But I think there could be. I don't know. That's like saying, would you bring a Bournemouth player to the Forest squad right now?
Go on, which one?
I like Solanke. He's second to none. He's a fantastic striker. You can't deny that. Billing. I like Billing. Like he'd be like if Garner went when Garner went back to Man U, he'd be a good replacement to play alongside Ryan Yates. And,
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
And it's like a Ryan Yates. Did Billing get play this season in that team? Did he get team of the year?
Yeah,
Billing?
He did. Yeah.
And Ryan Yates did as well. So
yeah,
that'd be a good partnership for them too. But I think at least 3 players from Forest would get in that Bournemouth side. But I think Billing, Solanke, and no, it's just Billing and Solanke. They're the 2 players that will get in the Forest side for me.
What do you reckon, Jack? Who would you use?
All of them, all the Forest players, all of them.
Who would that be? Sorry.
Who would you say would fit in the Bournemouth squad? Would you say it would be Brennan Johnson who would be the best fit, or would you say or would you pick one of the others?
Yeah, no, I love Brennan. I think he's a top forward. I watch quite a lot of Lincoln because it's my grandparents' team, and I thought it was excellent last year for them. Very direct, you know. He just creates stuff just by running at teams. So yeah, if I was picking a player from Forest, it will either be Brennan or probably James Garner. If I was picking a number one, it'd be James Garner. I really rate him. I think he's a top talent. I don't know whether he'll be good enough to play for Man United, but he'll definitely be good enough to play in, you know.
Not ready enough. He's not ready for Man U. Not ready.
Are you just saying that because you want him to stay at Forest?
No, it's not that. No, it's not that, because like I said, Man U playing poor, and let's be real, Man U playing poor, and James Garner has been, since I mentioned Cooper again, since Steve Cooper's come in, he's changed everyone. Garner wasn't playing great when, in his second spell. In his first spell, Garner was fantastic for us under Houghton because we were shocking, we wasn't winning, and he wasn't great football, but since Cooper's come in, Garner's been next level, and it's getting better. But with Man U, the champion, as you lot will know, and Craig and Gemma will know, the Premiership is a different level to the Championship.
Yeah.
So, actually, James Garner going to, like I said, I don't think Jack mentioned it. Go to a lower Premier League club, like go to a Leeds or I don't know, Aston Villa or whatever, one kind of sub sport. He's not ready for Man U yet.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you, to be honest.
Of course, somebody who scored a hat-trick against Swansea at the weekend, Sam Surridge. He, of course, formerly of the Cherries as well. Another, product that you've taken, albeit on the route from Stoke as well. When you signed him, did you think, why are we signing him? Because the Stoke fans weren't really very complimentary, like I discussed with Matt earlier on.
When we signed him, because I think this is a strange one, because I think it was Lewis Grabban got injured and we had to get a striker in. I think it was the last day of the transfer window. And when we confirmed with signing, Forest fans were like, why are we getting him? Why are we getting him? And it was, like I said, he was sat on the bench. I think it was the first 3 or 4 games, slowly coming to Forest. And then I think he scored his first goal against Huddersfield in the FA Cup. And he was good. And then since then, he's been fantastic for us. Absolutely fantastic for us. And it's weird because, like I said, he wasn't getting the game because we had Kieran Davis from Aston Villa. And he was doing fantastic for us as well. So he was not getting a game. And now Davis got injured. And Sturridge is took advantage of the situation and is scoring goals. And that's what we needed. And scoring a hat-trick against another ex-team, Swansea, on Saturday, is just like the second goal. I don't know if you saw the second goal. It was top corner. And to see that scoring a hat-trick in the second half, it's just, he's ready. And now he's playing against another former club Tuesday. I think it's going to be more motivation to thinking players, because I don't know if he played well against you for you lot. I don't know if he did, and he'll be up for this game. He'll be up for this game. Like he knows the fans, and he wants to prove a point, and he wants to get Forest promoted. So I think him, and I'm going to mention Cook. Like Cook's he's a legend at Bournemouth, but Sturridge will be fired up. Just prove a point to you lot, I think, and to you lot's fans as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We've got Zamora back as well, Gemma. So that's it's a bit of a godsend, really. He was fantastic earlier on in the season. How important is he now?
Who was that? Sorry, I missed that part.
Zamora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time, wasn't there, when Anthony and Zamora weren't playing together, and I think that was when Zamora was injured? I think it was.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, without the two of them playing together, it doesn't seem to click just as well, which is kind of understandable. I mean, they've played for each other or with each other for God knows how long. But the fact that he's back now and hopefully both of them playing in that team and carrying it on the big games and whatnot, it gives them more confidence that when, or if they're not playing together, that they can carry on those performances. They're not dependent on each other as much, hopefully. But I mean, he's just been brilliant. Both of them have. Anthony as well, I think. Just it's always good to have the youth players stepping up, I think. Especially when early on, I mean, I remember the benches were just completely full of all our youth players that barely had a sort of professional game before, had they? And the fact that some of them can actually step up and play in these big games, I think is really beneficial. And you just can't complain about that, really.
Question for you, Jack, because of course one of us has got to go up, either us or Nottingham Forest. Would you say that Nottingham Forest are better positioned to go through the playoffs? I think, personally, I'll put it on record here. If we were to drop out the top two, I'd be seriously worried about us getting through the playoffs. But Forest, I don't think so much so.
Yeah, well, Nottingham Forest have got the momentum, haven't they? Even if they don't, they draw tomorrow and then win the final game against Hull, they've still got the momentum. They still have the biggest momentum going into the playoffs. Where with Bournemouth, if you do drop into the playoffs, it's a big concern because how do you pick the players back up? I reckon you've kind of been set on that you were going to get promoted probably around Christmas time. You thought, we might stumble over the line, but we'll still get promoted. And it was so unexpected for someone like Nottingham Forest to come on such a good run and put yourselves under pressure. I mean, speaking from a Preston North End point of view, a very similar situation happened for us in League One 6 or 7 years ago, where Bristol City won the league and it went down to the last game of the season. Us or MK Dons, we've been second for the majority of the season. I think we were 23 games unbeaten, and then we lost to Colchester on the final day of the season, and we dropped out to third. But then we were sensational in the playoffs. We won 4-0 in the semi-final, and then we won 4-0 against Swindon in the final. So I think every team's different. Every team's got a different mentality. I wouldn't worry too much about Huddersfield in the playoffs. I think over 2 legs, the sides in and around the playoffs now will be better equipped to beat them. Luton Town, again, if they make the playoffs, I won't worry too much about them. I mean, you've seen today the amount of injuries they've got. They've just lost 7-0 to Fulham. So the only other team I'd be concerned about in the playoffs is Sheffield United. I think they've gone not as miraculous as a rise as Nottingham Forest have gone on, but they have done. Paul Heckingbottom's done a top job since going in there. They play good football. They suffocate the opposition by holding the ball, quite similar to how you play under Scott Parker. Perhaps a bit more aggressive with how they play, getting it forward a bit more. But I think if it does go down to a playoffs, I think the final, as long as Sheffield United finish 5th, which I think is probably likely to now they're in 5th place, it'll either be a Sheffield United Forest final or a Sheffield United Bournemouth final.
I want if we don't get top 2, I want Sheffield United in the semi-finals.
Really?
Revenge. Yeah, it's a long story. I think I'll make it quick. When we lost to him in the playoffs, 03-04 season under Paul Hart, I was a young kid. I broke my heart, and like I said, if we get playoffs, I want Bournemouth in the semi-final.
Well, I think it's going to be a very, very nervy game tomorrow. I think we've got to go all out attack. Mr. Dodd, do you think you'll go all out attack?
If Bournemouth go all out attack, it'll suit Forest. If Bournemouth just play like, I don't know, like I mentioned, I know they don't play like Luton.
Mm-hmm.
If Bournemouth go all attack, it'll suit Forest, and it's going to be a good game. That's what Forest do. If the other team attacks, we attack. And the game, like I said, when we played you like seat ground and you lot 1-2-1, it was a good game. But Bournemouth deserved to win, and it's going to be a good game. I'm excited. I'm nervous, and and all Forest fans, as Gemma said, was I at the ground giving us giving the flares? No, it wasn't. But Forest fans, we've never been so excited of what is happening, and it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game, and like I said, we beat Fulham, we were champions. We beat Swansea, the pressure was on us. Now we're ready for Bournemouth. We're ready, and like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I can't wait. I can't wait now. I want to go. I want to go to the game now. Can I play the game now?
How do you reckon it will go, Mr. Dorr? I'm guessing you're probably going to say, Forest will win.
Yeah, of course. And
that was a good guess, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why not? I'm not going to win 5-0. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be like I said. The pressure's on Bournemouth. We're not. We're not got no pressure at all. Bournemouth, they've been in the top 2 for how long now? And we're going there thinking, can we get the 3 points? And if we do, we go second. It's going to be a good game. And I've never been to Bournemouth. Well, I did go Bournemouth till you lot called it off. But
I'm gonna send you those videos, Mr. Dorr. I'm gonna send you those videos.
I'll send you
sandbags turn into a bloody river.
Listen to me, right? I'm gonna go when I wake up. I'm gonna look at the weather and see what the weather is like in Bournemouth. Because when we went there, yes, it was windy. It was windy, but it wasn't that bad. What was it? I think it was your sign. Your logo dropped. Woo! Big deal. Game on. But it is what it is. Like I said, from when we should have played you at that time. I think was we in the playoffs? I don't know if it was. And now look at us.
It's set up even better, really, hasn't it? From a neutral perspective.
Yeah. Just going to say, it's worked in your favour, really.
It has. It's worked in the favours. But I'm gonna say it's going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm like when we do my preview for my show, I'm going to sleep and I'm buzzing. I'm looking at the weather first though, but yeah, it's going to be a good game. I'm excited.
I think from your perspective, if you were to be beaten tomorrow, you wouldn't be so heartbroken. You'd probably think, what could have been, but you've had such a great season from being in a position where you were so low down the table. I think, Gemma, we'd be heartbroken, wouldn't we?
Anything other than, I think it's going to be end to end. Personally, I think it's going to end in either going to be a draw, or something's going to happen in the last minute. Probably knowing us.
Imagine Cook's going to the 89th minute. Imagine,
and that's probably what will happen. Let's be honest.
You've read that from my Twitter feed, Mr. Dorr, haven't you? You've read that from my Twitter feed. That was a nightmare.
It could even be Cook, even Sturridge, 89th minute. It's written in the stars, but especially Cook.
Yeah, it is.
Veteran, and him celebrating doing this. I don't think he'll celebrate. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting game, and I'm buzzing.
Personally, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna bet against us. I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1. I think Cookie will score. That bit's written. I think.
Cool.
It probably will be, to be honest, mate. But I think 2-1. What do you reckon, Jack?
1-1. 1-1. I think it'll be.
1-1.
There you are, Jack's.
Listen, I'm not liking Jack today. He's a secret Bournemouth fan. I'm not liking him. What's going on, Jack? Oh, days. Yeah.
But Jack, how good is this game from a neutral perspective? How exciting is it going to be? I'm sure there's going to be thousands watching it. And it's the excitement of the championship, isn't it? That both sides have got themselves into this position.
Yeah, I think it's added bonus, really. It's an added playoff final of sorts. Everyone gets really excited to watch a playoff final. This might as well be a final. It's going to be box office, and really the Championship's been disappointing this year in terms of, I'd say, the quality of football being played and the relegation scrap being done like that, and Fulham walking away with the league, and there's not much really of a fight for the playoffs this year. So this is really the climax of the season before we get to the playoffs. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't think it's going to be a classic. I think it's going to be a nail-biting affair. Like I say, I don't think I won't be able to split either of you.
If it is a draw, do you think we can get the point we need against Millwall?
Yeah, I think so. You should be able to. I mean, Millwall are flying at the moment, to be fair. Credit to them. Gary Rowett's done a really good job there. He's an underrated manager. They're an ugly side to face, but yeah, I think you'd be able to get over the line. You've always this season, you've struggled and you've played poorly in games, and fans have expressed frustration at times, but you've always just got over the line. So I think tomorrow will be that.
To be honest, I'd love it to be done tomorrow. But if it takes till the Millwall game, so be it. But the last thing I want to see is that man just below me smiling from ear to ear because they are in pole position, and then you've got to rely on Hull beating them. Which, let's be honest, it isn't going to happen. There, would you agree, Jack, that Hull Forest will turn over Hull final game of the season without a doubt?
I think they're rubbish, Hull. I think they'll go down next year unless they get some investment. I've not seen anything from Shota or Beledsi's reign that says anything. They've just lost 5-0, haven't they, as well? So yeah,
and plus they've gave the keeper to Luton as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Forest, if they need to, they'll beat them 5-6-0. They'll absolutely batter them.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're not talking about that.
And then we'll be promoted.
Yeah, hopefully we're not talking about that, Mr. Dorr. But I'd like the celebrations tomorrow. I'm sure if we go up, you'll see the fans on the pitch. Without a shadow of a doubt. We'll be celebrating. It's going to be a heavy night in Bournemouth Town Centre. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming to join me on this show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much, Jack, for being our voice of reason. Let's say,
voice of reason, the Bournemouth fan. Don't give me that nonsense.
He's got Bournemouth top underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. There you are.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem at all. Yep, and fingers crossed, after the game we'll be talking about a victory. That's what we want. Cheers, Jack.
See you later.
See ya.
And Mr. Dorr, without a shadow of a doubt, I am going to see your face later on. Might see your face tomorrow.
You owe me a Nando's. Wait. You owe me a Nando's. Don't try and think I've got away with it, Craig. You owe me a Nando's.
Yeah, we was talking about it. We've been discussing this for so long, haven't we? We've been discussing Nando's, Hooters.
Nando's.
It's all places that sell chicken, isn't
I'll tell Nando's. That's my pre-lunch victory, Nando's. And if we back when we do beat you tomorrow.
When?
Well, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the game.
How many times has this pre-Nando's dinner worked for you, Mr. Dorr?
Twice. We won twice. So
twice.
Yeah, and when
the other places not have Nando's.
When your game got cancelled, I went to Nando's. So, but yeah, I'm going Nando's. I am going Nando's before the game, and I'm like I said, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
So this isn't really third time lucky, is it? It's fourth time lucky because you turned up, for that throughout Storm Eunice, didn't you?
It wasn't Storm Eunice. It was a fake win. You had 7 or 8 players injuries, suspensions, whatever. Game got called off. I got drunk.
No, mate, things were falling down from Dean Court,
Oh,
and it was.
The logo. Apparently, come on, Craig. The game. Bournemouth could have played the game the next day. They could have played the next game. But here's what it is. Here's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I shall see you later on, Mr. Dorr, and I'm sure it will be an exciting affair.
Safe journey.
Yeah, have a safe journey, mate.
Hope you don't get blown over or anything. Or...
Yeah. And enjoy the playoffs, Mr. Dorr.
Oh, there's no need for that, Craig, was there? No need for that. All right, then. We're coming for your AFC Bournemouth. This time, no windy. But we have peace and love. Peace and love.
Cheers, Mr. Dorr. Cheers. And Gemma, thank you so much for joining us. It's gonna be nail biting affair, isn't it?
I know. Like the closer we get, the more nervous I get. Honestly, tomorrow at work's gonna drag. I know that, and I'm just gonna be thinking about it all day. But yeah, hopefully we get over the line. So
I've had the day off. Yeah, I've decided to have the day off. Because it's it's nerve-wracking, and I think if we don't do it automatically, I'm worried for the playoffs.
There's so much to be worried about if we don't do it automatically. I mean, playoffs we've never ever. I mean, have we even in recent years got past the semi-finals? So I don't have much hope in that. So we need to do it automatically, I think. So just hopefully tomorrow we do it and not Saturday.
Well, fingers crossed.
I don't think I'll be coping until Saturday. But
I'm sure you're going to be going to the game as well.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm sure you're going to be going to the game as well, aren't you?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Regardless,
so, can't miss this. I'll be there. And nail biting. I don't think I'll have any nails by the end of it.
No,
so
honestly, I agree. I'm dreading thinking about it now. I really am. but
imagine if we do it, and we do end up at the end of the day in the Premier League. Would you say that it's going to be the same scenes as like when we got promoted last time, or would you say that that's a one-off?
I think it's going to be harder, to be honest. I think we have the players there, don't we? But it's whether we can take those players into the team that can make it in the Premier League. I don't think it was a one-off when we did as well as we did. It was more a case of the team just being so cohesive and just exceeding all our expectations in that way. So I think it's going to be harder, but I don't think we can't do it. I think we can still do well. Just need to sort of buckle down when we do go up, don't we? Or if we do go up, should we say? So I just doesn't bear thinking about at the moment. I want to get over the line.
Let's hope that those celebrations that we experienced against Bolton, we'll be experiencing again tomorrow.
Well, fingers crossed.
Thank you again so much for joining me, Gemma. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care. Not a problem at all. And thank you, everybody, for joining us on this special show. Please do remember to hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell button below to be alerted to any new videos we do. Please also do leave comments if you support Bournemouth, if you support Forest. We want to hear from you ahead of this big game. And please, do get involved in the conversation below. Do check out our interview. We interviewed Steve Cook, as you may well know, current Forest player. Hopefully he doesn't come back to haunt us, but we interviewed him back in November before he left the club. Also, do check out our interviews with Harry Redknapp, Efan Akuku, Luca Blizzett. Of course, I did refer to one of our previous opposition preview shows with Stefan Rodri, so you have a watch of that and find out a little bit more about what he said about Steve Cooper as well. Until the next video, up the cherries, and see you in the Premier League.